It's a beautiful morning, and whatever's going on in your space, just allow it and put your attention on your breath. I'm going to give you a hermetic law. Hermetic being Hermes, being Egyptian history, ancient wisdoms, the 7 laws of the universe. A lot of stuff comes from that wisdom. It's pre-Christian, extraordinary knowledge and wisdom, and there are 7 principal laws, but one I'm going to refer to is polarity, and the other law is cause and effect. If you walk around the earth, if you went for a walk and you were heading north, there would be a point where you are heading south. If you were heading east, there'd be a point where you head west. So the word continuum is apt. In the law and polarity, there is no absolute hate or absolute love. There is, but they're the same, on the same continuum. So they're extremes of each other, but they are on the same continuum. There's no, and hot and cold, if you look at the concept of hot and cold, there's no point where it suddenly goes cold, it's just continuum. So they're part of the same frequency. They're the same polarity. So if you're feeling sad, you're too far down one of the aspect of the continuum, and its opposing place is happiness. So it's on the same, it's the same, but you've gone too far down the continuum. Now I know it sounds like, yeah, great, and how useful is that? And some of you already understand this stuff and understand how useful it is. But your counteraction to bring it back into balance, because poise and balance is the key of the law. The law is absolute. There is a dichotomous universe. Opposites attract, all of that. Understanding that is, if you're in a particular place, find the poise. And to do that, you need to breathe into it, be gentle, put your attention on the other end of the continuum. And then, of course, because you have skills, as you pay attention to that end of the continuum, you start to think of events or things that are reflecting that aspect. So if you're sad, then you go to, even if you don't feel it in the moment, you go to happiness and put your attention there and start to breathe into, imagine the colors, imagine the sense of vibration and all circumstances that you remember where you have had that experience. And of course, everything will start like a Mercury on a level, or theodolite, will start to move in that direction. What you focus on most grows. So as you consider that and just play with it as a beginning to the day, I want you just to notice wherever you are, just go into the breath. And breath work, by the way, causes poise. It brings you into reset. Slow, gentle breath in and out through the nose causes a reset. At many levels. It resets the balance between the oxygen and the CO2. It resets the balance between the acidity and the alkalinity, the pH. It resets the balance of so many things in the chemistry of it all, and the biophysiology, and the levels. So just think about it in life. The best response to anything is a poised response, and responding with ability, or being in your breath. In spite of where the theodolite might have leaned, and it's a negative, what appears negative, it's the same thing, by the way, with negative, positive in the universe, with polarity. They're part of the same thing. They're just further down the scale of the other on the continuum. And you just bring it back to balance. The whole key in hermetic law, in Christic law, in all the wisdoms, is to respond with ability to turn the other cheek or respond with balance. And it will correct the imbalance. It doesn't always happen immediately, but it happens. So as you notice the balance, the poise, and notice where you are, bring your awareness into poise and breathe into it and respond from poise, stillness, or with balance, a balanced response. And if you're feeling in a darker place, then the opposite of that dark place is lighter. So put your attention on lighter and breathe into that. And imagine the colors of that and the texture of that and the vibration of that, and correct it before you react to what appears before you as darker. If you react with dark, you cause more dark. If you react with light, you cause more light. It's quite simple, really. So as you just calibrate yourself and notice where you are this morning, start to build your breath into the Tumo breathing. And notice, as you notice, your attention on the dichotomous universe and the balance. And bring everything as it naturally does. And then go to the hold and hold it there and increase the CO2 at 30, 40 breaths. The emphasis here is that maybe every day for you, maybe just Monday, when you come to this, you correct, you reset. Do it every day and incrementally throughout the day, and you'll find you'll be more able to be still and deal with what is before you. So when you get to your hold of 30 or 40, sit in the stillness of the hold and imagine the hold is the balance, the poised moment, the theodolite sitting perfectly level. This is the trick, in spite of what appears as a circumstance. All the circumstances is a reflection of something caused in the past. So put your attention, if you don't like it, on causing the opposite or the dichotomy. You have to go there first, though, in yourself. You have to go there first in yourself and then respond from there in all of the layers. And I'm going to talk about the dragons now, for those of you that remember the 6 dragons. As it does in the 7 laws of the hermetic wisdoms. But it's just a different model. The same thing applies. So we'll go through the dragons. So imagine these beautiful dragons. And there are 6. And each of them has a job. The first dragon, its job is mind and imagination. Thought and imagination. What you're thinking. What your mind is wandering through. It can imagine anything it wants. It's infinitely capable. But understand that your thinking, when managed, is to bring it into the balance, the poise, of thoughts that are useful and bring a balance, bring a stillness. And then your next dragon responds to the first dragon as the dragon of emotion. And the emotion will set up the vibration, because everything vibrates in the universe. Everything's in a state of movement and vibration, different frequencies, but the different frequencies manifest different manifestations. Different frequencies, different manifestations, different vibrations. And the emotion, so just notice the emotion dragon responding to the thoughts and the imaginings. And then the third dragon is where one of the first manifests takes place, where one of the first places things form. But as does emotion, is also a vibration, so it forms. Imagine iron filings and sound. And then go to the spoken word, the third dragon. And you utter through sound and breath. You utter thoughts, imaginings that the first dragon has. And you utter them in the emotion of the second dragon. And you say things, and they cause. Depending what you say and to whom has an effect. Depends what you want to cause. You're at source. And then the next dragon, funnily enough, is to forgive the past. So it's the dragon of forgiveness. It's in that position in the flying sequence of these beautiful creatures because it's poignant. If you hold on to the past, if you hold on to the unforgiveness, it's turbulent. So the first dragon is imagining unforgiveness or anger, rage. Second dragon's in the emotional states of that on its continuum. The third dragon's screaming and yelling. The fourth dragon is not able to let go or forgive. So the fifth dragon sort of sits in a position. So it goes straight to the obvious, really. Gratitude. When the first four dragons are in good order, we go into a natural state of gratitude. But gratitude can also be caused because it's also gratitude versus lack of gratitude. So it's on a continuum. And you bring it by being grateful for what is before you, in spite of its condition. Be grateful for your life. And you'll find, because it's a dichotomous universe, and this is very powerful, that no matter what it is you're dealing with, it is impossible or horrible. There is a dichotomy in your life somewhere. There has to be, because it's a dichotomous universe. It's the polarity. So if you're in a hard place, there is a not hard place somewhere in your life. If you can't see it, it's because all of your attention's on the hard place. But the good place is there. It has to be. It is dichotomously absolute. It is a law of the universe. So your attention goes to gratitude. And then, of course, the beautiful sixth dragon. It's stillness. It's poise. The sixth dragon is the state of the five dragons, all in harmony. The colors vibrating in the universe from light, the seven colors, the primary colors, the notes, the seven notes of the universe, the musical scale. And as they enter us in the physicality, they enter the seven organs of the endocrine system, the chakras, and they light us up. And then we walk into life. We walk into the day, the moment, whatever it be, and we respond as light. We respond in the frequency. I drove through some rainbows yesterday, actually, literally. It was so nice. I had to ring Catherine and say, I'm driving through rainbows on my way for a coffee. And it's the perfect colors, the seven colors. I could see them. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, right there, telling me these laws, they exist, and they exist in us. And so as you get the balance of the dragons, the balance of the seven hermetic laws, and then you respond and now run more breath. And here's another key. Your response is your effect. So you witness events. As I've said many times, please forgive me repeating myself. but good laws are worth repeating. Just letting yourself breathe. You are causing everything from your response. You witness an event, you interpret the event, and then you respond to your interpretation of the event, not the event itself. The event is innocent. An event is an event. But the event is not causing our experience. Our response and interpretation to the event is causing our experience. It's a very subtle difference. It's a really good thing to get, to notice whatever's going on. And then you get 5 people witnessing an event, and you'll see 5 versions of what happened, or 4 or 3, depending on the agreement. And it's just the unique view of each person. And that view is either poised or not. And so someone's reality is uniquely subjective to them. And I know you all know this, but your experience each day, you're causing it as you walk through it. Reminds me of a lovely story of a lovely man who lived in a beautiful hut near a beautiful freshwater lake. And every day he would go down and he would take 2 buckets and he would fill them with water. He would walk back up and he would satiate what needed to be watered. A shower, a wash, a cup of tea, making something. But over time, one of the buckets became very depressed. It had leaks in it. And by the time it got up to the house, it was mostly empty. And it always felt inadequate. And one day the buckets being buckets and lovely old men who have wizardry, can talk to buckets and buckets can understand and talk back. The bucket said to the man, I'm a complete failure. And the old man said, please, I don't understand. He said, oh, I don't do any good by the time the other bucket does all the good. And the old man said, let's go for a walk. And they went down to the river and he filled the bucket with water. And as he walked up, he said, see those flowers all along there? Just notice the water. And he's walking along like a watering can. And he's watering these beautiful flowers. And he takes walks places, and this bucket does that. And the bucket was able to recognize its meaning, its beauty, its purpose. Sometimes we're so busy seeing the leaks in our bucket, we're not seeing the goodness. Things aren't always what they seem. So as you listen to my ravings, go into the lovely heart-coherent breath, or watching the reflexive breath, just witnessing your breath. And just close your eyes and watch the breath going in and out. And notice the reflex, it's your friend. There are many reflexes in being human. Nervous system reactions and things. But there's a reflex, and when you breathe out, the reflex will at some stage insist that you breathe in. And if you will ignore it or fight it, it will make you. So just watch the reflex with gratitude. And as you watch the breath go in and out, watch the reflex. Just bring it in. And just allow it, because you can't do a reflexive breath. You can witness it only. If you're doing it, it's no longer a reflexive breath. It's a conscious breath. But when you do a reflexive breath by watching it, just witnessing it, it's like meditation. It's witnessing, sitting in awareness. And as you witness it, funnily enough, it resets our respiratory system. And you'll feel a peace come over you just right now as you just let the breath breathe you. and witness it. And that's all you need to do. And as you do, you'll feel a calm. You just will. Your calm depends on how you see the world and how you teach and or work with your dragons. But watching the breath come in and out, just watching it, you'll feel a calm. And as that calm pervades you, allow it just to wash you clean like a little bucket held above your head, and beautiful crystal water just washes you clean as you breathe and watch it. Sometimes watching resets everything, just being on witness, just being at awareness. Reminds me of another story that we've told many times over the years, but it reminds me of people that feel they have to do something all the time. They always have to be doing something. They always have to be fixing, correcting, adjusting, tidying, busy. Sometimes they haven't yet learned to be still as you watch your breath now. And there was a monk, always a monk, walking along a country path. And always when there's a monk, there's a disciple with the monk somehow. I've always found that in my stories, so I imagined it's always true everywhere. And as the monk and the disciple walk along this lovely country path, the disciple leans down and picks up a beautiful big snail halfway across the path. And the older monk says to the disciple, "What are you doing?" And the young monk says, "I'm rescuing the snail from being walked on." He said, "But you're interfering with its karma." So the young monk went to put the snail down. And he said, "You're doing it again." Sometimes it's good just to leave things and be aware. And maybe every once in a while, influence them, but only when the sixth dragon is still. It's okay, but if you do things in a state of dishevelment, tension, vibrations, aggressive, you will cause that, even though what you're doing might be a good thing. Just be aware of where your state is, your awareness is, your words are, where your listening is, where your attention is. And then when you do physical action, movement, do it from there. What appears to be, has to be done quickly, all comes from frantic. Has to be done quickly. We're running late. It's not done. Oh my God, it's nearly the end of the month and we haven't got the numbers. Whatever it is, just shh. Be still. And as you respond with stillness, which is getting it done and being active, but coming from that poise, the result will be considerably higher vibration. And you'll end up with a transformed world more often. But the practice is meeting the obstacles and honing your skill. You can only cause light if there's darkness. It's dichotomous. There has to be problems and obstacles, otherwise you can't find the balance. And the whole thing in the universe, the planets soaring, held in the most amazing positions in orbits, is all held in poise. And so above, so below. So the universe and the big macro and the little tiny cell are the same. Their ingredient is the same. And the balance and the poise is the same. And as you consider this from your beautiful mind, imagine yourself now breathing with poise. And no matter what you walk into today, smile with gratitude. Check your mind. Check the dragons, go through them. What am I imagining? Where's my attention? Where's my emotional state? Will tell you what the first dragon's doing by your emotional state. We'll go, where am I? And you'll go, oh, and then go back to your imaginings and imagine the outcome you actually want. And then go to the third dragon. And then when the moment comes, speak from there. And then continuously forgive the past to the past. It's the other gift you can give to the now and the future. But to forgive, it's funny, isn't it, the word? It's to forgive, is to give to the past. It's history. Give it to it and say thank you. Give it the emotional disablement. Give it the unforgiveness. Give it to say thank you. Thank you so much. You'll walk much lighter. And then come into gratitude. And then poise, stillness. And take the time to look around at the rivers and the birds and the insects and the song of them as you listen to them chatting. And laugh, because sometimes it is so humorous to watch ourselves or watch people with an arm out the window on the Story Bridge saying fuck off to somebody, throwing a finger in the air, slamming the steering wheel, and you're going, how's it going, dude? Are you getting what you want here? And noticing sometimes the pointlessness of the action. And just think, how is that causing anything that is worth having? And if you really drove your questions, if they were prepared to listen and ask those people, what is it you're trying to achieve? After they've told you to get the off, they would say, I'm just late, or I'm trying to get to an appointment on time, or it's really important I'm somewhere, or I'm just pissed off because I've got a story. And say, yeah, but what do you really want? And they cry or laugh or just sit there and go, oh, I want peace. Say, why don't we begin now? So as you, well, put all of that wherever you would put it. It's yours to put wherever you want to put it. You can throw it out. You can take bits of it you like. You can take all of it and do whatever you like. So right now in this moment, if you'd come into the room and just watch your breath, where's your attention? Where's your forgiveness? Take your time, and when you do find a place, and it looks like most of you are in a pretty nice place,